This is TransAfricaRadio.
And the time right now is 24 minutes after 6 p.m. Central African time. And thank you for staying tuned and for being absolutely patient with us. We are in studio with Judith Sephuma as promised. I did promise. And a promise I make is a promise I keep. Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
And how are you this evening?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm well. Very happy to have you in studio.
Oh my gosh, the studios look beautiful.
Really?
Yes,
thank you.
From the last time I was here, and which is like, I think 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
You guys take too long to call me back.
We won't do it again, ma. It won't happen again.
Yeah.
Without further ado, ma, we'll get right started. Can you just tell us about who Judith the child was? As a young girl, before you even became a woman, before you became a mom, who were you when you were younger?
You know, I actually saw a scar on my chest. I think it was this morning. And I remembered, the scar is so faint, I can hardly see it. And I remember how the scar happened. This is the kind of child I was. I was a very naughty child. I was riding a bicycle after they told me many times, don't ride a bicycle. And then I fell. And the scar was so deep that, you know, I got how a long time ago they would just, give you a hiding even after.
Yes, even after you fell.
You fell. And it was one of those. I looked at it, I'm like, I was actually a very naughty child. But one thing I can tell you is that I was a naughty child, yet very respectful. I loved people. I loved playing a lot. You know, like any other child would. I did everything that every other child did. You know, I used to steal condensed milk. I loved it. Yeah, and my mother would just every time, she would find it going, lesser and lesser and lesser, and I had no idea why it was getting lesser. So, but it was just that one finger every day. You know, the one finger every day
makes a difference.
Sometimes you have it like twice. So I was that kind of a child.
And the music, when did you even decide that this would be the journey that you would take?
You know, Sam, I think nowadays people decide to take music as their journey. Now I didn't have that choice. I didn't have that luxury of deciding. I didn't have a choice but to do exactly this. So it's like my mom always said to me when I was 2 years old or 3, I used to be the most irritating child in the house because I would sing everywhere. But as time went on, when I grew up, I think at about 13 years old, I already knew, from 12 years old, I already knew that music is what I wanted to do. And I wasn't interested in anything else. Mathematics, they were wasting my time, taking me to school every day. But listen, I'm glad they forced me to go to school because eventually I went to go study, to understand exactly what it is that I'm going to embark on, and it was really a great decision. But music is something that I had to do. I had to do that.
And you didn't grow up in a musical family. It wasn't automatic that maybe we sang or would sing together at night. No,
I wish.
Not so much.
I wish those around the fire kind of like. It never happened.
Didn't happen. Not quite that way.
No, it didn't. Instead, I was the one who would go high school. I'd be the one, asking to sing Randa and I Tam, but I was never shy to stand up and say me. The one thing that made me shy is when I was at, I think, high school, high school. They used to make me feel like I was the most ugliest child on earth. It was really bad, to a point that if I was sitting down and then I stood up, somebody had to come and sit. They would wipe before they sat down.
Wow.
Yeah, because it said I'm gonna taint their color.
Oh yes, it was when being dark skinned was not.
It was not the in thing. And my hair, they used to say, now your parents are from like Ghana or something, as if like Ghana is a bad thing. But that's how we were raised. Right? You are too dark, you don't qualify. You're not so nice. The lighter in complexion you were, the better. Everybody liked you at school, And then, but anyway, at the end of the day, I got the most famous boy in school.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Revenge comes like that.
Listen, I got the most famous boy in school, and I sang in front of all. I got really, really, liked after singing when we actually went out to, at an outdoor match. This thing was so bad that at the Kodi prayer sing, when they would say at assembly, they would say, there was a teacher who really liked me, so she knew Judith can sing. So she would say, I'm as skin said, Epina, sing Sefila Mu or anything. When I sing, didn't matter to people, but the day I sang Paradise Road in Transkei, that changed my life, because when we came back, everybody was like, Yeah,
Hey, you're onto something.
listen, they stopped calling me Mansu and they called me by my name.
Ah.
And Mansu was my dad's name anyway. I love that name.
So basically, you say music kind of it got you out your shell. It gave you your confidence. It made people stop and be like, okay, she's not just a dark skinned girl from
They paid attention. They paid attention. They loved and they appreciated. But also, I think it made me so absolutely more humble than ever because I knew what it was like to actually bring someone down. I knew what it felt like. It's not a nice thing. So I made sure that I would never put anybody through that. So in turn, I don't like people. You can't speak ill about anyone, around me. And if you do, listen, I will gossip a little bit. I'll be like, right. But don't make it too deep that it's going to actually scar somebody, And those are the things that's what we call, I don't know if it's humble beginnings, but it's things that make you grow as a person.
Yeah.
So when you grow up like when you have been through that situation where I've been, just know that God was just preparing you for something.
Absolutely.
'Cause
I mean, who knows, if you had been the popular girl your whole life, you might have gone a completely different direction.
Absolutely, But I love the fact that high school happened, and then I thought it was over, and then I got to varsity. It was worse.
Oh my!
And I never discussed it with anybody until when I had a cry, smile, and a dance, and then I got the platform to actually talk about it because bullying became such a big thing, And in school, and my kids experienced it. So when I learned, I remember we took a bus to Cape Town from Joburg. And then when I got there, I was coming out of a taxi. You get to the bus station, you have to take a taxi to go to your, to the residences. I get there outside my residence at Tagwell Hall. I was staying at Tagwell Hall in Cape Town. And people were passing. Actually, I remember those two guys who passed by and they started laughing.
And what?
I was standing there with my back and I was like, no, it's not happening again. Please, I thought I broke it, And they started laughing again. And then someone else came and they started laughing again, but they were laughing at my hair because I had that, the thick.
That thick African, the one everyone's trying to get today.
The one trying to get today, and you can't even comb that hair. Let me tell you can't comb it. When I used, remember that hot iron, the comb. My mother used to put it kohorima prema stove. Prema stove, and it must be red, and then they must come back blood. Now and then they burn you and you must sit still. Vaseline. So and my hair would be like they do it today. It's nice.
Yeah.
I go to school afternoon. It's gone again. It's hard. It's bush. So I had that kind of thick hair. So now I just did lipondonyana and I thought I'm hip. I arrived and then I got those things and I decided no, I've been here before, so I'm not gonna let it. And besides, I knew I had a bigger gift, and my gift became my weapon now.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely, because then I got to school. I didn't have friends at all. I started making friends later on in the year. There was a lady called Cindy whom I became, until today she's still my best friend, because she also went through her own things. So we kind of like drew towards each other. And at varsity, I remember only when I started singing again, people were like, okay, this girl, there's something about her, and she's different. And the different kind of thing, I carried it with me my entire life because I heard it way too much. She's different. Oh, she's unique. And I grew up to learn that our gifts, all of our gifts are unique. And there are people who sing better than me, and there are people who sing worse than me. But those who sing worse than me, they carry something that I don't have. So Mara, they might be worse to me, but if they were to sing a song, I promise you they make you melt. A beautiful voice is not the one that always has a vibrato and high pitched and nice, and no, it's a voice that carries something in it.
That moves people.
That moves people. That's one thing we have to understand. Our voices are uniquely created and given to us.
And the first time you stood on a stage and you thousands of people and it's just you.
Oh my God! Please finish your.
Yeah, well, that's think you know what I'm onto. How did you feel? Did you have your insecurities, or were you already then convinced that, you know what if I'm here, it means something? Were you really, or did you have to still work through your insecurities and work through the bullying that you had experienced as a young person?
I remember I was 13 years old actually when I went up on stage, and the first major audience that I had was about 12,000 people.
Wow.
At 13 years old, and it was with Brenda Fassie. And I promise you, I went up there in a cab hiding who I was. I didn't even know people to know who I was, and I was this shy girl. If she was here, she will tell you that I didn't even want to walk. I wanted somebody to put me in a wheelchair, or they should just ob me there, ob me onto the stage, and let me just appear, sing, and then disappear.
Again,
And I mean, it was 12. I got up there, and then we sang "Too Late for Mama," one of my favorite songs. I promise you, that day changed my life altogether, because then people never looked at me as Mansu, and the newspapers wrote about me at that early age. And then I stayed at home for like a year, because I had school, and then we had riots at the time. And then after having those riots, I think not even a year later, a couple of months later, Brenda came and she took me to Joburg.
That's amazing.
So my first experience in Joburg was something else.
Yeah, Brenda Fassie,
Joburg. You are in her house. This is a legend, and this is a girl from Polokwane, tiny. And then now you're living in Brenda's house, and you're sharing food with them, and it was absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I think that's the moment when I made a decision. I had to make a decision, with what am I going to become? Do I stay here and live this life, forget about school, and then deal with the rest later? So I decided I'm going, because there was almost I was almost sexually molested. All these things were happening because I was young, I was so naive, so I trusted everybody and everybody. And thank God, I was aware of what was wrong at the time. Even though growing up at home, we were never taught certain things, but I knew what was wrong. And then I decided to go back home. I went back home, and it was the best decision I made.
You ever made. And you then settled on African jazz. That was your genre of choice, or did the genre kind of choose you? Did your voice just automatically fall into that jazzy kind of sound, and then you decided that's what you'd stick to? Because Brenda did pop.
It was the opposite.
Pop.
Yeah. And mind you, I came from like that pop environment, but when I came back to Polokwane, that's the year I met Slilo Salota. And then Slilo came with a different touch altogether, because he was serious. Listen, that guy was not even smiling.
Really?
He was saying, well, now you sing jazz and nothing else. So he introduced me to Bonensi Freelon, Letambulu. I knew all of those great artists from him. And he bought me so much music, and I was careless with things like CDs, and he would lose his mind. Why did you crack this thing? You know how important, how precious a CD is. Why do you a record? We had a record actually at the time. There were no CDs, there were records and cassettes. Now my cassettes, the strings are out. And he would but he'll still go by, and still say, you need to listen to this, you need to listen to this. And then I remember the first time when I heard a song that made me decide I want to sing this kind of music was when I heard he bought me a record, Randy Crawford. And on that Randy Crawford CD, I left it in the sun as always, and then it burned on the, and once it burns, you can't really play it. It's like but I tell you, the one song that remained on the album was Everything Must Change.
Oh, wow.
Everything Must Change became one of those beautiful songs that I just could not stop singing. And I just loved how relaxed it is, the message behind the song. And in actual fact, I remember after learning that song, there was a moment where I was, I think they followed the very same year, following year actually, we went to University of Cape Town to study, and Nelson Mandela was there. And at that point I was the girl. Everyone wanted Judith Sephuma, to sing at their event. We had a band. I was singing with big bands and all. And Nelson Mandela came for the first time. My first time of meeting Nelson Mandela, and I actually fell when I saw him. I promise I don't know what hit me, but I fell.
How did you fall, ma'am? Did you?
I just listen. I got hit. Something. something hit me and I fell. And I was dressed by a designer. Imagine first year at varsity, there were rules at varsity, and no one was supposed to be singing in the big band unless if you were third year into. So first year, there's Judith. I'm singing in the big band. I'm this girl who's black, this Afro girl whom they called so many names, but I was unique. And whenever I sang, whenever my name was on the poster, venues were packed.
Oh my.
So now he's coming, and then he's coming with Mama Grasa Machel, and then we are going to sing. And then I sang for him Everything Must Change. They said to me, listen, just sing something special for me. And the song that was appropriate was Everything Must Change. From that day onwards, I became a very close family of the Mandelas.
Oh, wow.
We flew to New York with him. I promise you, first class. I promise you, I was sitting on that. Listen, it was crazy. I went to New York to go sing for Kofi Annan installation at the time. It was I don't remember what it was, but in the 90s. But I've had the most amazing journey of my life, and I have rubbed shoulders with people that are just absolutely amazing, and I would never trade any moment of my life for anything.
Yeah.
So my highlight of my life, if you're gonna ask me, is everything that I've been through.
Everything you've been through.
Yeah.
And everything that brought you then to gospel. Right? Because that's
Jesus. My God.
because that is a huge transition, and you've done it successfully.
It
Not
is.
many people can.
I know.
And I know that the first time I saw you sing jazz, gospel, I was very surprised with Spirit of Praise.
Oh, yeah,
I know
yeah.
you're in the white dress.
It
and
was
you sing,
actually
"Oh,
Benjamin
give thanks."
Dube.
Benjamin
Benjamin
Dube,
Dube, yes.
And it's
Yes.
"Oh, give thanks."
Yeah.
And I was like, how Judith Sephuma, she's really a switch, eh?
Yeah.
And I mean it's still an amazing song.
Yeah, it is.
Did Benjamin Dube then? Did he was instrumental in you moving then
Yes.
from your African jazz to your gospel?
He was, absolutely. And you know what happened? I was shy to actually do it for that main reason that the mere reason that people would look at me and say, yabona semanje, uphelelwe. she doesn't know what to do next in jazz, this is it for her. So I was afraid for that reason, but I kept on singing gospel in all my shows, and people were loving it, and the comments we would be getting on Facebook, on social media and everywhere, they were positive. And then he one day called me, and I was thinking, this dad, this dad is not serious about his life, because I'm not gonna do it. And I actually did it, and actually "Oh Give Thanks" became the most very well-known song. Listen, it's gonna be there for a very long time. And I'm glad that Benjamin pushed me to do it. And that is why in that year, I think 2 years, I worked with him and sitting behind him. And sitting behind him was really just to learn, because in terms of worshiping and praising, for me, he is the legend. He's a legend, and he does it different and better than anyone that I know. I mean, for him, worship is worship.
That's it.
He worships and he taps into the core of who he is. And sitting behind him, people said, "Why are you doing it? You're a big artist. You're this, you're that, you're that." And I knew exactly what I was doing, because God was preparing me for another moment, another level of my career. And I mean, now after releasing, we are releasing now My Worship, which is my second gospel album.
Yes.
And I was with him a couple of days ago, and he says to me, "You left me behind." And I said to him, "Dad, you know what? Can you just let me do this thing by myself and then watch me try and do it and actually get it right? The next one we can do together, but this one I needed to do it on my own." And he says, "I understand."
And has doing gospel helped you tap into a different part of your gift?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, because all of us, we have different giftings, but you can't stay in one place. You cannot stay, especially if you hear God speak very loud and very clear, because one thing that my pastor taught me is to hear the voice of God when God speaks, and to actually pray to hear God when God speaks, because it's like grace. Grace will not be given to you. You have to pray for grace. You have to be thankful for mercy. So now those are the things, and favor as well. Listen, we are all favored. All of us are favored. But what are you doing
with your favor?
With that favor and with the knowledge that you have favor? What are you doing with it? So I don't know.
And that was Ngino Jesu by Mam Judith Sephuma. And of course, you can hear for yourself that, I don't know, I think it's definitely our system, because that is a fresh CD. fresh. From Mam Judith's new album.
Yeah.
Before that, I played My Worship, which is track 1, which is the title track.
Yes.
And absolutely amazing. And this album is live?
This album is live. It was
Yes.
recorded live. You know, when we say live, for me, I mean, people, when you talk about live, they want to be there at the recording. But unfortunately, I wanted to do it in a way that it's just me and my band and us. We, you know, but it was a live recording at M1 Studios. We are going to have a launch whereon we're going to do the entire thing all together and then record another. We have a DVD coming out actually of the very same music, but we're going to have another DVD coming out with everything and incorporate music from the experience. And actually, I think I'm gonna call it Experience My Worship, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And I mean, there's something when gospel music is different. When you have a live recording, the Holy Spirit can kind of just do its own thing,
it takes
you know.
you over, man.
So it's very different to me being
He
in studio
takes
with
you
somebody who's
over,
like, okay,
yeah.
cut here, cut there.
Absolutely.
So definitely looking forward to that one.
Thank
And
you.
how did you pick the songs? I know some of them obviously you've written, and some of them are cover versions of songs like Gino Jesu.
Yeah.
is one that most Christians I think know.
They know, yes. Listen, I've from the experience live in concert, a lot of people have said to me, listen, we love you when you sing hymns. And I think it's the way I sing them, because I kind of like sing them incorporating, you know, my knowledge of jazz, I think, you know, and it makes them nice. So I enjoy singing hymns, but also I enjoy original songs, you know, because we have to sing a new song unto the Lord, and people, you know, of God always want to hear something new. I have songs that are written by friends of mine. There's one called The Gratitude Song. It's written by a friend of mine who's in Nigeria. His name is Joel Wilson. He's the same guy who wrote Through It All, the one that features Reverend Elias Ndeda. And then there's also a friend of mine, actually, Hlengwe. I'm hoping we can actually play that song because it's absolutely beautiful. Hlengwe Pitso, she's from Joyous Celebration a long time ago.
Oh no, so it's not the young Hlengwe that I know now. I'm thinking of one now.
It's this one is much you know, much older, and she wrote me a beautiful song called You Alone Are Holy. It's actually one of my favorite songs on the album. And when I listen to it, I can actually play it about 10 times without even stopping. It's beautiful. And I have another, you know, there's a prophet who sent me a song. It's called Holy Spirit. In actual fact, I think Holy Spirit is going to be absolutely amazing from this album, because it's so simple and it just, you know, magnifies him, and that's it. I didn't want an album that had too many things in it. I just wanted to have an album whereon, you know, I would be given the opportunity to worship him when I minister, you know, with the songs. When we get to perform and do the launches, people must know that we are not going to be performing. It's going to be a ministry, you know, because that's what gospel should be. Gospel should be a ministry, you know, and I have no doubt that I'm going to have so much fun singing them. There's also a song called I Lift Up My Hands, written by a friend of mine in Jamaica, Shiva Franklin, and I'm hoping, you know, she will actually come as well to be part of the launch. We are in talks about that. She's an amazing worshiper. She's actually one of the most anointed worshipers I have come across. And otherwise, hymns are beautiful. Kirata, I'm singing hymns in Sipedi on this album, and I'm singing in Sizulu. But you know, I've realized that Zulu has dominated us so much. Everybody sings in Sizulu, so from now on, I want to sing hymns in Sipedi. But the tricky part about saying that is that, you know, I will find that hymn in Zulu that just grabs me. You know,
can't help it.
You can't help it. Like, you know, just when I heard it for the first time, I was like, okay, listen, it's absolutely beautiful. I want to sing it. And it's simple. Me, I'm a simple girl, guys.
You're a simple girl.
I am a simple
just
girl.
a simple girl from Limpopo, and you are here.
And I'm here. I'm just a simple girl, you know. Yeah.
And besides obviously being bullied at school and the jazz, what other personal experiences have prepared you to worship? I think worship is different. It comes with a certain level of sincerity.
Yeah.
You have to have experienced a few things in life for you to be able to really worship in the way that moves people.
Yeah.
What would you say has happened to you and has just prepared you for this exact moment where you are right now?
You know what it is? It's that thing. Sadly, it's that thing whereon even before someone can give their life to Christ, you have to have a bad experience.
Yep.
I don't know why. Somebody must dump you or something. Somebody must leave you and say, I don't want you no more. And they'll be like, oh, Christ, because you know what? At the end of the day, we all cry to God, you know. And not for me, it was a situation whereon I just felt my life was not going anywhere. Anything that I was doing was just not moving, you know. And then I was a loner, you know, and I was miserable, absolutely. And then until this woman said to me, listen, I want to introduce you to someone. And that someone was, you know, God. It was the Holy Spirit of God. And I met him, and I never was the same from then. My life absolutely changed with a lot of challenges. Listen, the day you say, Christ, I accept you in my life as my Lord and Savior, you must know that you have taken on, it becomes a warfare. But it's a beautiful warfare because you know what you are standing on, you know, and you know you are covered, you are protected no matter what. So for me, what made me turn to gospel is really the gift, firstly, because I realized that God has trusted me, let me say he has trusted me with the gift to be able to you know, transform lives, to change lives, to heal people. And healing does not happen when, you know, it's not only about somebody who's going to stand up and rise up from their wheelchair. It's a spiritual healing. It's an emotional healing. I've had so many people from the days of a cry, smile, and a dance saying to me, you know what, I almost committed suicide. My marriage was breaking, but listening to it, you know, I had given up on life. You know, even from the album I'm a Living Testimony, all of those things I've been hearing so many times. In actual fact, throughout my career, Memutswadi is a song that have brought mothers and daughters together.
100%.
You know, and that's a song I remember when I wrote it, I had my mom in mind. I wrote it with a friend of mine called SB Muila, but when I wrote the lyrics, I was like, okay, I promise you, I sat by myself. It took me absolutely 2 days or 3 because it could not be just that song that you're going to write quickly and rush over it. It had to be a song whereon lyrics came from the deep core of me, and it had to talk about someone really special. And my mom, I had to really celebrate my mother because I know exactly what she had done for me and my sisters. And watching her raise us, you know, with unconditional love. And when my mother hit you, you knew that, you know what, she hit you, and after that she's gonna, it's like a rat, you know, they bite and then they are foodies that don't feel the pain. So she was like that. And Memutswadi was just appropriate. People's relationships have actually been restored. Can somebody write a song that is going to actually touch me? I want somebody to actually, there are songs out there. Can someone write a song? Sepedi is such a beautiful, beautiful language. I promise you. So if somebody can write a song about what, you know, so that I can feel what people feel. Oh yes, I want to feel what people, because you know what, we bless people so much, you know, and I know they are there, but I'm waiting for that song. I mean, I've songs from like 11-year-olds who wrote me songs. I know that's amazing. A 13-year-old guy, young boy, was he 13 or 14? He wrote me a song called Inkanyezi. On New Beginnings, and he was so young. No, he's 17. He was 17 when he wrote that song. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lyrics. And I'm thinking, you child, where does it come from? I can't even think like that, and you are 17, hello. You know, but there's so many beautiful songwriters out there.
We have a WhatsApp message here from Musa. Musa's from Newcastle.
Hi,
all the way from She says, please say hi to Sis J. May she stay beautiful. I hope she still wakes up to run in the mornings with Coach. So I do. Somebody who knows you. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing the new album.
Oh, man. Yes. Musa, Coach, you never leave Coach. Coach is for life.
So you're a runner?
I'm a runner. I still wake up in the morning every single day. I do run. In actual fact, the past 2 weeks, I've kind of like changed my training pattern. Now I'm not going to gym anymore because I realized that, you know what, I go to gym and then I pump and I pick up a little bit of weight, you know, but it's muscle building. So I'm trying to run now. It's 2 weeks now of running every single day, at least between 6 and 10 Ks.
Wow.
Different days, yeah. So, and my my area where I live, Batungbamudim, has got so many hills. I trust me, I'm saved. I'm a child of God, but I swear at that hill every single time. I look at it and I'm like, I'm gonna get you today. So I do run every morning.
And what else do you do, Ma'am Judith, which you think makes you ordinary?
Like now I'm planning, there's Fast and Furious coming out. I'm going to watch it on Friday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is how I plan my life. I'm a movie junkie, so I love movies. And I do eat popcorn. But listen, I'll buy a small popcorn and I know that I'm going to be in trouble because I hardly ever eat carbs. So it's movies, I play soccer with my kids.
TransAfrica Radio plays 100% African music.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Oh my God. Absolutely exciting. It's beautiful because you know what? We don't have that many platforms whereon our music is appreciated. So that is why when you guys call, we will always run and come because we know that you give African music the best attention that it needs. And because you guys do that, you are possibly going to be one of those very few radio stations who will open up a platform for venues to be created. Don't worry, it's still my song. For venues to be created, for venues to have to create platforms where we and other upcoming musicians that'll be, that'll have. We just need platforms to showcase our music. For example, there's a jam session coming up. Actually, I don't know if people know about it, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna send you guys information. Please, you must talk about it because musicians need to be there and actually support it. I went to Atlanta, and it was the most amazing thing that I saw. So we're doing the same thing here in South Africa. Everybody is welcome. Everyone, we're poets. Check my Instagram page. I've posted it. It's going to be run by my musical director who's from Chicago, and it's just a jam session, and we get to actually enjoy seeing different talents. And I'm saying different talents because I've had people on Facebook saying, where can I showcase this? Where can I showcase that? Let's come out of South Africa, and do something that is absolutely amazing. And it's going to be, in town at the Good Luck Bar. Okay. Good Luck Bar is beautiful, beautiful. So music, guys, all for the love of music. And it's still proudly South African. Yes. Still proudly South African. There's a lot of South African artists of international standard that'll be there.
Alrighty, and that is how we wrap up this interview with Judith Sephuma. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's been quick and fun. And
yes.
Everything amazing.
And my worship is available on iTunes.
Yes, I'm downloading it tonight. The 2 songs that I heard have...
Yes. And you were singing along. By the way, you know what? She's so beautiful, guys. You have no idea what I'm looking at.
Thank you. We play out with Mbote.
Mbote is in Lingala. It's a song about unity. Just brings the entire Africa together. Okay. It's against xenophobic attacks.
That's perfect, actually.
Perfect song.
Alrighty, and that's how I wrap it up. And I am back with you in a few minutes. This is the third and final hour of Girls Gone Wild. Good evening, Africa.
This is TransAfrica Radio.